Hi there. Welcome back to the channel. Dominic, the CX guy, 8 years as Zendesk consultant, 2 years as Zendesk partner. I've been in CX for the past 14 years, starting from a design background. And I've been also subcontracted by Zendesk to work on various projects. And I'm here to share some of the knowledge that I've gained. All about processes and following a streamlined approach to set up your Zendesk in order to have the best results. 90% of companies don't use this methodologies, that the ones that do are very successful. So I'm here to share some of that knowledge and help you get up to speed. I do these series for free. They're available in a Zendesk in a YouTube playlist, which is called Zendesk Setup, and you can find it somewhere on the YouTube channel. And so the way that this works is I usually have this introductory short intro, and then we jump into a slide deck. Today there's not going to be one, so you're off the hook. After the slide deck, we normally go into Zendesk and see how to do things, how to set up, and why we set up the way we set up. We talk about things 3-5 times and we set them up only once. We have to be mindful that if we set the system up according to limited understanding, then we might clog the system into the future, which would cost us a lot of money, a lot of, in a sense, it all comes down to money, but mostly it comes down to time, right? So someone's time is going to go down the drain because we set things up so they aren't productive. And if that extends to 100 people, 200, 300, 500 people, imagine the productivity that you lose, even if it's maybe an hour for each person. Imagine if you have 500 people working for you, and that's at least 500 hours lost per day. So yeah, we're trying to avoid that. We're trying to do things right and do them right from the get-go. We tend to focus more on why we should do things the way we do them. I share the best practices that I've learned, and then we go into your actual setup. Each setup is different. Each company is different. But yeah, if you follow the same type of one size does not fit all, but not all the setups are the same. But if you follow an example like this one, like a process like this one, which I've applied to many, many projects, and also while working at Zendesk, then yeah, you're bound to have great results. So let me share my screen to show you where we are in terms of the Zendesk setup. Very excited because this is going almost, it's not finished, but we're getting close to it. We're past the better half. I think we're like 2/3 there, maybe a little bit even more than that. And yeah, to be honest, when I first started this, I thought it would never end. Well, never end. This process is what I usually use as a methodology for projects that set up their Zendesk from scratch. And so it's quite a tedious and long process. When I'm doing these YouTube videos, it's harder because it's like I'm performing. I'm not used to, performing by myself in front of a camera. Usually I have someone, a team of people that I talk to, that I exchange ideas with, So anyway, I just gave you a small incursion into my personal goals, which is, it's becoming this sort of educational YouTube platform. I am doing this because I want to give back to the community, and this is the altruist parts, right? So giving back, and then there is a selfish component, which is learning more, because that's how you get in touch with people who teach you stuff, which you didn't even know you needed to know. So yeah. Anyways, I do these unedited, and I apologize. I don't do video editing, at least not yet. Consider subscribing and commenting, like if you want to have video editing, so this is a little bit more dynamic. Let me share my screen to show you where we are in terms of the process. And I very quickly remind you, so I have here my trusty list in my trusty Evernote. So first phase is the learn or discovery phase, where we learn everything about your company, why you do things the way you do them, and then how you do them is the next. So we have a kickoff, then we have, preparation with the business requirements, business flows or business processes. Then you have a training. Then we have some discovery sessions, depending on, how extended your processes are. We have from 2 to 5 to maybe more, where we discuss everything about your company. Then we translate those into business process flows, right? With you can go back and watch this, how they look like. And essentially that's a translation into Zendesk features. Then we go over that in this meeting. And then we do the, also in the design session, which is, the bigger, let's say the big chunk after the learn or discovery is the design, right? So we do this people setup, which is everything to do with your customers, ticketing setup, which is everything to do with your data collection and your forms and your ticket fields and views, dynamic content, and everything to do with productivity as well. Then we have channel setup, which depending on the company, you can offer support in multiple channels. We went through email, we went through chat, we went through agent workspace, and now we are extending to social messaging, which is amazing, right? It's 2021 and social messaging and chatbots are, this is the buzzword. You're maybe even a little bit tired of overhearing it, but it's here and we have to go over what this means for you and your setup, because your clients are going to want to reach out to you the same way that they do with their family. Like they want to just have this very commoditized, right? So they reach out, they would want to reach out to you via WhatsApp, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, wherever they are, and it's easiest for them. They should be able to reach you. And if you're not doing that, I would highly recommend it, because if you want to be there for your customers, you want to be flexible and you want to be easy to reach. Customers tend to not want to stay close to a brand if they don't find it easy to get in touch with you. So if you are going to be there for them on social channels as well, so everything to do with social media, that's excellent. So this is has two components. One is, let's say, in social messaging, they can interact with chatbots, which we'll go over in today's lesson, which can keep them busy and possibly help them with some article suggestions or some knowledge base, or they can reach out to an agent, right? So if the chatbots are not sufficient, then they can just pass that conversation over to an agent, and an agent helps them then and there. So the difference between the two types of approaches, so chat and chatbots or social messaging, is that in chat, right, it's an interaction which starts now and has to be solved or ended right now. Whereas social messaging, or in the interaction with chatbots, moreover, is a more, let's say, laid back type of conversation where the customer can talk to you now, they can talk to you in a few hours, and the conversation is ongoing. And it can be exactly like they do it with friends and family. They answer from wherever they are. They can switch to other channels. They can change their environment and can delay that for as long as it's needed. Zendesk automatically creates a ticket on your behalf, on the customer's behalf, and then agents can pick that up whenever it's necessary. So when I say whenever it's necessary, it's usually whenever the customer can't find the answer that they're looking for by interacting with the chatbots. So chatbots have their limitations, but they are becoming better and better, right? So they can help with some article suggestions based on keywords. They can help with maybe guiding the user to a form. They can help with giving out more information about a certain topic. They can ask for data, and after they ask for the sufficient amount of data, then they can pass that over to an agent that is available. And we're going to go over that in quite a bit. I don't have a slide deck because this is some more, let's say, directly how to do in depth in Zendesk. So we're going to go over how to, what that looks like in Zendesk, and we're going to go over how to create some flows using Flow Builder in Zendesk, which it's essentially what the name suggests. You create some flows to guide your customers through them in order for them to find some answers or collect sufficient information so you can pass them over to your agents. And I'm going to take a hydration break very quick. By the way, I got my hipster jacket today. I like how it looks like against this background. Alrighty. So social messaging. Let's go to our Zendesk account, right? So we're here in Zendesk. So yesterday we went over Agent Workspace. And so the prerequisite to having social messaging is having the Agent Workspace enabled, which we did. And if you haven't seen that lesson, go ahead and see that. And now we have to go ahead and activate social messaging, right? So we need to go to our admin center, right? So if I'm going too fast, let me know. So enabling Agent Workspace gives you some additional icons in your Zendesk support, which help you interact with the chat environment. And in much the same way, you'll receive the requests in here. And I'll show you what that looks like. Okay, so here, right, so we go to Admin Center. We open the Admin Center. We go to Channels, and then we have here Messaging and Social, and we go to Messaging. And you see we have nothing here, no channels in sight. And we go to Manage Settings, and we enable messaging for your account. There we go. Now we have to choose like which are the brands that you want this messaging to work for. And I'm going to do this for Dominic CX because this is the one that I use on my main website, and I'll show you what that looks like. But I'm going to use this one as well. This one was for the demo that we will be creating today. So save. All right, amazing. Now we've saved that and we go back to what we have available. So we have web widget, and then we have this one as well. This one we're going to ignore for now. So what we need to do now is to think about what channels we want to integrate in our social messaging. So we can add channels from here. And I was mentioning a little bit earlier, we can add Facebook Messenger, we can add WhatsApp for business. Be very careful. Instagram Direct, Android text, iOS text, Line as well, Twitter direct message, and WeChat. So we have quite a few channels in here to integrate. Currently, I am not using any of these because this is obviously you need to have a page, you need to have credentials to that page, you need to have a WhatsApp business, you need to have this is all down to your business's core, and this is for you to do. So you log in here, you add these channels, and then you add your credentials. So that's all you have to do. It's not complicated at all. So let's go ahead and look at one of our, for example, Dominic CX. What do we have here? This is the web widget, which has been enabled for this brand, for Dominic's brand. So these are the basics. We give it a name, right? We can go ahead and allow customers to switch channels between, Instagram, as I was mentioning, Facebook Messenger, WhatsApp, so they can go ahead and switch channels, and they just can then continue the discussion from there, which is awesome, to be honest. Then you have Go to Flow Builder, which is in essence those flows that I've discussed, and then we're going to go in depth right now into how to keep your customer busy while your agent is able to pick up the discussion, or how to create some flows in which you give out answers directly to the customer with some more info that you have for certain topics, or with articles from your knowledge base. So this can be again tied in with the resources that you have, and also a dose of creativity. So this is awesome because I like it. It's new, it's fresh, I love it. So we're going to go over that in just a bit. We can stylize the colors, primary colors. So see, this is where you have the preview on the right. You can, yeah, stylize it to make it look a little bit more personalized. By the way, you can strip this down to nothing and you can recreate it from scratch using the SDK. So software developer kit. We won't get into that because it's a little bit more technical, but you can do that. So if you don't like this, then definitely go ahead and recreate it from scratch to match however you want it. Some other preferences if you want to remember the conversation history or you just want to forget it. And then the installation, which is this code snippet, which you take, you copy, and you just install in your website header. So I'm going to show you what that looks like. I have it enabled in my help center. So in the help center, we will go over and create a flow, and then I will show you what that looks like on a main website. So let's go first. Where should we go? Let's go to our guide in here. And here's the widget. Okay, I have interacted with it already because, yeah, I have, so my cache remembers from the last time that I have interacted with it. I'm going to open a private window for this health center. And I'm going to show you what the flows look like. So let's see, what is this about? AnswerBot, right? So this is AnswerBot coming over to help because I have some flows already built out, right? So I have this enabled and I'm going to guide the customer to some flows that I know I have already set up, or these are in tune with the types of requests that come into the system or with what I want to ask from the customer in order to know a little bit more, but with know a little bit more about how I can help them, right? The more information we understand about what the customer is trying to solve, then the easier it is for us to help them, right? So yeah, I have here three options. So I have registration, billing, or other areas. Registration, let's say. So for the registration, I found 3 articles that I offer as suggestion to my customer, and they can go ahead and read these articles and see if they were useful or not. Let's see, view article, they open it, they read it, blah, blah, blah. They can continue the conversation from here, right? So did this solve my problem? Well, I think not. You know what? I don't think so. It did not. So now we ask the customer to start over. And then they go ahead and, okay, so what do you want again? Okay, I want a billing issue. So billing issues are something which are more urgent, right? So this is something which requires my attention immediately. I want them to get in touch with an agent because this is very, very important, right? So billing issues have a priority, which requires an agent to immediately jump on top of it. But before we ask the customer, before we pass them over to an agent, before we transfer them, we want to know who they are, right? So we can create a form and ask for some basic information from the customer, basic or non-basic. I'm going to show what that looks like. So Dominic, that's my name, my email, hi@dominiccx.com. This is what you can use to reach out to me if you want to. And then how can I help you, right? So I'm asking this customer, what can I help them with? So they have this drop down, which these are, by the way, my services. This is what I offer as far as services. And there's one missing. But anyway, so Zendesk optimization, Zendesk setup, which is what we're doing right now, backend integration, Zendesk consultancy, guide customization, Zendesk Sunshine or something else. I am going to want a Zendesk setup because this is what we're working on right now. Send. Okay, an agent will be right with you. And now back in my administrator center, in my admin center, I see that I have something in my queue. So queue says 1, okay? So as far as the customer is confirmed that they have filled in the information needed, and now they're waiting for an agent to get back to them. I don't have this in red because I'm currently invisible. I still get these messages and I'm able to reply, and I will do it just to make sure that, yeah, just to show you how this demo looks like. So I have all the history from the customer right here, what they went through. They saw these, for example, these 3 articles. They didn't like them. I still need help, so they still need help. And here we go. And this is the information that I have about them. So hello there. I see you are interested in a setup. Is that right? There we go. Now we go back to our customer experience. So yeah, sure. So right. So AnswerBot helped me until here, and then Dominic jumped in, the mighty, mighty support agent. Yes. How? What is the process? Anyways, now we get back. Yes, what is the process? Let's imagine that we helped this customer and we're happy with everything that happened. All good. Solve the ticket. We're happy. All good, right? So then obviously Zendesk asks for what the experience was like. Was it good? Was it bad? How did we do? It went well. Thank you so much. All good. Tell us what you think. All good. I think you're awesome. Nice. Okay, cool. So that's it. What I wanted to show you was another thing, another option in this form, not in this form, but in this messaging environment. I wanted to show you there was an additional option which we have not gone over. So that means that I need to open another private window to be able to initiate another conversation like this. So let's go ahead. It remembers everything. Why do you remember? All right, let's see if we open another browser, which is Safari. Alrighty, so I have Safari here. My browser. This one remembers stuff too. Private window. Okay, this is a clean slate. So what can we help you with? And the third option, so first option was articles to read. Second option was direct them to agents. Third option is I give them some more information. And it's, yeah, would you mind going to this form? Right, so I send them to a form, which is this form, and they go in and submit a request. Or they can just write the request here. But yeah, imagine this can be whatever you want, a link to point users to whatever they want. So this is the third option. Now, what we do is we go back in Zendesk and we see what this looks like in terms of the setup. So we did mention that we would go to the flow builder, which is this one. Go to flow builder. And it's this one for Dominic's brand, because that's the one that we've been playing around with. Edit flow. So this is what it looks like, right? These are all the steps that are required from, not required, but these are all the steps that we went through in terms of the customer experience. We went a little bit through the agent experience as well, how you can answer requests, but we saw the customer experience, right? So that is essentially what we saw there is reflected in this flow builder, and this flow which we created, right? So remember those 3 options: registration, billing, and other areas. So this is it. Everything that we have in terms of the wording for the preview, for example, we can have a preview and see exactly what we've seen in the customer experience. We can see it in here as well. Registration, I found these options, blah, blah, blah. I can go back, billing, and see the options again with the form, etc. Back again, other areas. This is my form, etc. So what I propose we do is we go ahead and delete this. And we recreate it from scratch. So you will have the power to do this yourself. So this is what I try to do. I try to give you knowledge so you can be autonomous. You can create these types of flows on your own. You're not always dependent on someone else to do it for you. And yeah, with that, you can definitely save consultancy money. You can gain a new skill set, and yeah, so you can always be able to make changes on your own. All right, so let's go back to the configure. So let's go ahead and add a step. So now it asks us over here on the right, what step do you want? Do you want to send a message? Do you want to present some options? Do you want to share help center articles? Do you want to transfer to an agent? Or do you want to add business hours condition? It's important to know business hours condition works if you have a schedule in place. So if you have a schedule in place, which is, let's say, from 9 to 6, 8 to 5, whichever it is, depending on your time zone, etc. If a customer initiates the widget during business hours, then whichever options we choose are going to be in place, or they're going to be shown. If the customer reaches out, initiates the widget in outside of business hours, then they get an out of office message, and it says, "Yeah, sorry, we can't help you. We'll be able to help you starting, I don't know, Monday through Friday from 9 till 6, etc., whichever your active hours are, whichever your business hours are." So in this case, I want to go ahead and present some options. So present options. Okay. And let's put some wording in order to, yeah, are you working or not? Okay, in order to help you. Wow, this is lagging a bit. One sec, we need to, I'm going to take a quick break to see what this is lagging. Okay, so let me share my screen again. Okay, so I hope this is not lagging again. In order to help you, please choose an option from below. And my first option was registration. Another option was billing. Other areas. All right, so these are my options. So I have added my options, and this looks like something like this. Doop, doop, doop. Okay, nice. Now moving on, registration. In registration, we said we were going to present some article options, right? So let's present the user with some article suggestions that they can read, and this can potentially solve their request so they can self-serve. All right, so let's see. I found these articles for you. Okay, and now let's see, help. What do I have? I have this one. I have this one, and I have this one, right? So I have 3 article suggestions, and these look like something like this, right? So I found these articles for registration. Do. Nice. Okay, so we did that. By default, I am added with this, was this helpful, right? So we always need to take feedback from the customer and see if this was helpful or not. If it wasn't, then yeah, we need to readjust and help them some in another way. You can definitely add another option in here to talk directly to a customer, to an agent. So yeah, this all comes down to how you want to set this up. This is just an example I'm creating for you to see and yeah, be in the loop with what you can do. So for billing, we said that these are more urgent and we want customers to be transferred directly to an agent. And we're going to choose exactly that option. So transfer to an agent. And then the bot message will say, in order to transfer you to a human, please provide some data. from the form below. And then I have name and email, which is by default. And I have a field which I have a list of custom fields here. And I have one in mind, which I want to use. Request type, choose a department, blah, 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 booking reference. How can I help? This is the one I want to put. Transfer to agent, bot message again. So we have to put another bot message. Thank you for the info. An agent will be right with you. Nice. Okay, so other areas in here, we said that we are going to go over, and we're just going to send a message and say, please take 2 minutes of your time and go over our form so we can collect the right information from you. All right, so this is a form which, yeah, is whatever that is. Let me open a form, which is, let's say, get quote, this one, where I ask you some info and help you to get some info to get a quote. Let's try to publish this and see what happens. All right, changes submitted, which is amazing. So we did it. We recreated it from scratch. Now, if you are offering support in multiple languages, you have to go to settings in here and enable automatically translate flows. And this does translate these for you. They work very well. I've tested it out. It works very well. Language, the default language, you have to choose it, which is, yeah, in this case, English. Automatically do it, translate the flows, and this will very easily translate them for you. It takes like a few minutes. It's not instant, so it's going to take like, I don't know, a few minutes. So allow the server, I don't know, 15 minutes to create these translations for you. If you want to learn more about that, go ahead and do it. Publish. Alrighty, so this, again, if I open hopefully another private window, is going to get updated with what we filled in. Yeah, hi, need any help? I do need help. So here are the flows that we created, right? So I'm just going to go to other areas because this is where we entered our, yeah, here we go. Our flow, which sent us to this form on our main website. All right, so again, you can use this to play around and configure it however you want. This is in no way restricting you. However, please bear in mind that in order for this to be efficient, in order for this to work well, you have to be mindful about the knowledge base that you have, right? So in order to make this lucrative, you have to have a knowledge base. Prerequisite, having a knowledge base. You don't have a knowledge base, then it becomes confusing for the user, because when they get in, the usual expectation is to find some articles, right? So they interact with the bot. The bot suggests some articles, but if the bot does not find anything, like in their pouch, let's consider this a kangaroo, user can search by keywords. They can type in what they're looking, what they need, and then the answer bot, which is the AI from Zendesk, automatically goes in and with the keywords that the customer used, going into your knowledge base and searches through the articles, which is amazing. And it can, serve articles, and your customers can get their request answered very easily and very fast. If you don't have a knowledge base, then yeah, that is a little bit weird. It's going to make the interaction feel very robot-y, right? And that's not something which is the robot's fault or the chatbot's fault. That's something which falls on you a little bit, right? So you have to help these bots make the interaction as human as possible, right? With some gimmicks, with some anticipation of what the customer might do. And usually if they fail to yeah, find anything useful within the flows that you built for them. Then they search keywords, they don't find answers, then yeah, they become a little bit frustrated. Now, when you have a knowledge base and it is quite extended, you can create, you can use another AI, which for example I can help you with, as I'm partners with an AI company that can create labels to make sure that when AnswerBot goes in and searches the knowledge base, it doesn't search all of the knowledge base, because that's what it does. It takes keywords, searches all of the knowledge base, and then gives out answers. It can help you narrow down what AnswerBot should look for, right? If you have 1,000 articles, you create some labels, and then the AnswerBot knows, depending on those labels, to just look through, I don't know, let's say 20 articles, 30 articles, which are going to be relevant for a specific topic. So yeah, I went on this small rant in order to give you a little bit of insight into how you can make this more effective, because yeah, you can set it up as beautifully as you want. If you don't have a knowledge base, if you don't iterate on top of it, then yeah, not going to be the best experience. So the more the better, more articles the better. Okay, this concludes our discussion about setting up social messaging. And yeah, I encourage you to go ahead and play around. Again, it's very useful, very fresh, very much what your customers are going for nowadays. Be closer to them, because if you are closer to them and the way that they function on a day-to-day basis, then they're going to like you even more. They can become ambassadors, they can become advocates for your company. And yeah, happy, happy, joy, joy. Okay, next lesson is going to be about business rules. So yeah, that's going to be quite hefty and big, but it's the most fun. I like that the most, actually, because it's a sort of a detective work meets logics, right? So it's, yeah, I like it. It's probably going to be 2 sessions, not 1. And yeah, I'll see you in the next lesson. And yeah, we're getting there. We're getting there, and happy to do so, actually. Yeah, I'll see you in the next episode. Bye.